1945 up until now, 1947 up until now, those physical spaceships, that's the government. But as far as any physical thing, and also even the whole, they showed you that in the movie Fire in the Sky. And even the whole book, they got one type of bug-eyed looking person. And that's basically, the government sat down about 50 years ago and said, we got one prototype on which we're going to use as an alien. And even in the movie Fire in the Sky, when he went in there and he looked, there was some bug-eyed suits hanging up in the closet that the motherfuckers would put on after they sedate your ass and you see these aliens and stuff. That's the government. Because we ain't never seen the shit in the damn ghetto. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never seen the shit in no ghetto, no bug-eyed ass people. You see what I'm saying? So but now even David Icke, I gotta give him that even in his book. The other one, Robots Rebellion. No, the truth shall set you free. And he said that there's plenty life teeming on the outer galaxies and all that type of stuff. But we're looking for the physical thing, but it's not necessarily the physical. So there's life on Mars right now. It's just that we're looking for the physical life, and it's a spiritual life. And that's what they showed in the movie Final Fantasy. If you go see that movie and stuff, these was phantoms, these entities and stuff, but they were spiritual entities and stuff. This is the only physical entrapment right now is the earth. What's that?
But, I was wondering, what is real and not real? Because if you use only 10% of your brain,
right,
mind,
yeah,
then you've got 90% that's locked down.
Yeah.
So what would you see if you were allowed?
And that's the same thing. Even David Icke in the book said, if you had tapped into, and he said the same thing even in the book, The Truth Shall Set You Free. I gotta give him that. He got a whole, when he talked about the government, some other shit he talks about. But when he said if you did tap into the other part of your brain, he said you could see all that out there. And it would just be just some little lights, some planets, and some stars in this barren universe. You see what I'm saying? But exactly. We only use that particular one aspect of it, and that's why we don't see the other aspect of it. But apparently in this particular pre-dynastic, going back into this Atlantis thing, that's what we used to see and deal with. That's why the Africans have so much scriptures and scripts on all this angelic shit. It's because they was writing it down because they used to see all the stuff. They used to be a part of all of that. But as the memory shut down and we became more and more condensed in the physical and we only gave way to 5 senses, you see what I'm saying? All that stuff disappeared. But we got all these scriptures. That's why they say mythology is the ultimate truth. Because mythology talk about all this shit. Giants, water nymphs, muses, dragons, and all kind of stuff like that. And we think, oh, that's just some old crazy children stuff. Because they train you in high school and in elementary school, and even the word, that's a myth. Means a lie. So when you hear the word myth, you already registered a lie. I was telling my mama about Isis and Osiris. She said, oh, that's mythology. I said, mama, goddamn, Jesus is mythology. You know what I'm saying? All black men haven't got Jesus is mythology. No, the good thing about my mama, she ain't never believed in the Jesus shit. She used to be like, where the fuck did God come from? So I got all that from her. She was the first person saying, come on, man, America and Russia is on each other's side. Motherfuckers ain't gonna never fight. So she always put that kind of stuff. You see, to make a person think. So she was one of those types of beings, you see what I'm saying, that dealt with all that thing in her own consciousness. You see what I'm saying? So when the consciousness came in, you see, she had no problem accepting it and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? But when it came to but when I was dealing with the Osiris thing, she was taught in college based on that. There you go again, that college thing. Oh, that's mythology. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, that Jesus shit is mythology. The Hebrew shit is mythology. The Moses story, the Egyptians had the damn Moses story before the goddamn Hebrews adopted it. You see what I'm saying? So they adopted it. But you got all of these things and stuff. All them scriptures that you see, all that miraculous stuff, because we can say, well, damn, all that damn shit happened in the Bible. Why that shit don't happen now? You know what I'm saying? You're like, damn, them motherfuckers in the Bible, anything was liable to happen. A frog might jump out and kick somebody in the ass in the Bible. And we just talk about just the Bible. We ain't talking, and that's based off of even a greater mythology. But so they was literally living this stuff because the damn engine, the stuff wasn't shut down. So in actuality, there was a book, I can't think of the name of this book, They talk about we live on multi-dimensional planes that's crisscrossing right around us right now, and we just don't see it. The motherfuckers, the people is right here. So when we think, oh, I'm going to do this little ritual to get what I want, we think there's somebody way out there, and there's a nigga right there doing what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But see, I got a friend named Juju. He see him, the spirit be getting mad at these niggas like, kick their ass. And then they just fall on the ground. He said they be just tripping their ass. He said, I can see it. He's one of the people that see it. He said, man, these spirits beat the hell out of these stupid ass niggas. You don't know. You be like, oh, I failed. No, you didn't fail, man. Be somebody like kick you up your ass. Be one of those spirits. You be like, damn, I tripped. No, you ain't tripped. Somebody kick you up your ass in spirits. But he can see all of this. He can see all of this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? He can see all of this type of stuff here. What's that?
Yeah, I'm going to get back to two things you said. As far as the dimensions, you know, the messenger said from the fourth dimension up, the people on Mars will become visible to their black people.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, getting back to what he said about the aliens and everything. You know, they killed a friend of mine, Carla Turner, one of the last girls I was going to bring in. She put out a book called Masquerade of Angels. And you said all those aliens was from the U.S. government.
Yeah.
When they kidnapped her and her whole family, she came to while she was on that experiment table. And she saw those big bug eyes. You know.
Okay.
But she actually saw them. They didn't know she was conscious, and they took off the mask, like you said, they put it up in the closet. And I think it was 98. She went out to California to promote her book, Masquerade of Angels, and she talked about all of this as the government, like what you said.
Okay.
2 weeks later, when she got back, I talked with her. She knew that they had infected her with cancer. 2 weeks later, she was dead. Right after that, you know, they went after Richard Hoagland, the white guy that put out
Monuments on Mars.
Well, now, you know, he's fighting cancer. Before that, he was perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
So those are two of my friends that they're trying to take off. But to answer his questions, on this level, this is the only planet with the physical.
Yeah, and that's why we have problems. But there is stuff out there and all. It's just like that. You know, it's just like that lunar thing. They ain't went to no, you know, like this moon thing. Now they had the thing on Fox. You see this thing on Fox where they was talking about they faked the moon, the Apollo lander. Now we know white people right now. Now you know damn well the white people, anything they colonize, they take over. There ain't no way in hell these motherfuckers gonna go to the moon when they supposed to have less technology and didn't even explore the dark side, just bounced around on some rocks and some dust, and yet they decide they ain't gonna go back to the moon no more. That ain't even characteristic of white people's temperament. That ain't even their nature. If they gonna move, if white, like Dr. Ben said, if I go to heaven and white people up in there, I'm going back. I'll go back. I'll leave. He said, because you know damn well, if that motherfucker up there 2 months, he gonna be running shit. You gonna be serving that motherfucker, Mr. Charlie. You know what I'm saying? So you know damn well ain't no rapper gonna go to no moon and decide he ain't going. They faked all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, they faked all that stuff, and they're talking about the Apollo landings and stuff. You know, it was interesting because in the movie, they showed it, you know, the movie Capricorn 1 is the same Apollo. They just changed it to Mars to throw most of the people out. With O.J. Simpson and stuff, Capricorn 1, 1976, I think. Or a little later, 77. So that's the actual faking of the Apollo land. And in the movie, they had to kill everybody else. Well, that's what they did on the Fox thing. They said, man, over 150 people died from NASA with the faking of that. But even in the movie, Diamonds Are Forever, last Sean Connery movie with James Bond, they fighting in some studio and they knock down this wall or this platform and break into another studio, and in there they're faking the Apollo missions. In the movie, they're faking the Apollo missions on some other sound stage. And they did the shit right. That's like 1970. I think the last one hit with him was like 73. And they faking, you know, because I think the last Apollo mission was 75 or whatever. They faking the Apollo missions. And you know damn well ain't no white man gonna go to the moon and just decide ain't nothing up there he ain't gonna do no more. You know, when this nigga's out in the desert drilling and shit. You know what I'm saying? What kind of moon stuff you can be getting on off the damn moon? You know what I'm saying? But yet they so happy because and here it is, they done been to the fucking moon, walking around on and shit, walking around. And yet they so happy that they sent a little shit in 97, a little old robot to Mars. And they got little dust, and they're all around the shit going, oh shit, look at the dust, look at the dirt, look at the dirt. A little robot. I'm like, wait a minute, these motherfuckers is up here. All happy about a couple of fucking Mars rocks. But yet you mean to tell me y'all motherfuckers was chilling on the damn moon? You know what I'm saying? Are you crazy? That's contradictory. It don't make no sense. You see. So all of a doggone sudden, they bounce around. Then the thing about it, they get me now. Come on now. You see that little comment? Come on now. You see that little shit that they had, that they landed on the moon with some little tin foil? Goddamn, your car can't even goddamn go from here to New York. You see, without some major shit happening to it in a good snowstorm. You know what I'm saying? Shit all rusted out and stuff. But yet they're up in here in the moon, thousands of miles of wear and tear. Right now, they tell you right now that your car is based on what? The sales of your car is based on how much miles. It's based on the longevity of it, and they based on when you gonna buy a car, based on they say, what's the miles on that shit? Cause we know what we done built. We know that shit, you know, the wear and tear, right? And all of a sudden they gonna go 1,000 motherfucking miles in the damn tin can, and then get back. Then they gonna make a movie, Apollo 13. They get up there and all, they fake the shit and all. They telling some people how to, you know, they was lost in space, couldn't get back. And they told them to tear some rubber off the side of the ship. Get some paper clips and make some contraption. And these motherfuckers get back from Earth. Get back. You know what I'm saying? Right now your damn car break down and shit like that. No, it might take you 4 damn months.
What about the outside universe itself? You got solar radiation. You got a lot of things that will stop it.
Yeah, we'll stop it. It's the same thing. They can't do nothing. I can't say I don't know. Maybe that little space station mill thing.
They can go outside.
They can go outside, and that's the best they can do. But all that, that's the best they can do with the little space station thing like that. That's the best they can do. And all. But all the rest of that shit there, man, and the stuff is still primitive and stuff. They still trying to find out how many places they can drink some goddamn tang on the ship. You know, how many grapes they can eat and raisins. But yet they done been to the damn moon in 1968.
Another problem they have is white people have problems with their muscles and crystal formation and all that kind of stuff. And this is what happens to them when they go outside the atmosphere, and then they take them to Walter Reed Hospital and stuff to do all this.
Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. But they can tell the people in it, what's that?
Oh yeah, somebody said, why don't they put the Hubble Space Telescope on the moon so they can see the stuff down there? And somebody said, no, we can't do it, it's too bright.
Too bright?
Yes, that's what they said. That's why they can't turn the Hubble towards the moon.
But the Hubble is not that far up there.
Well, but you know what? Look, I can go to down Daytona Beach and get blinded by the sun, but shit, that shit I saw at the moon, it looked like it was dark half the time. It was night. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So this whole shit is bullshit.
Like it's easy to confirm whether they went to the moon or not because you could put the Hubble on there.
Exactly. Mind control is the number one thing. We're gonna take a couple more questions. We're gonna go on into some other stuff. Now, what's that?
I arrived here late, and you might have covered this book on masters here, but there's a key point I'd like you to have to speak to, and that's this one here. Masters has obviously done his scholarly homework regarding Egyptian law. However, his willingness to enter the body of the collective unconsciousness and ultimately the body of the goddess Kemetic has yielded fascinating results.
Yeah.
Not only for Egyptologists, but also for the explorers of inner space.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, what about this channel? Is this? I mean, do you accept him?
I accept it in this particular aspect. I accept it for one reason. Segment I accept this for this reason, because the same thing happened to Gerald Massey. Gerald Massey in the late 1800s and the early 20th century got a visit from Settman. She told him he was black and told him to tell the truth when he went into the British Museum when everybody was lying. So
you got proof. You got proof.
Well, I'm just saying, but I do know this particular part about the Europeans. Although they are a subhuman thing, they can also be taken over by an entity that use them like a zombie effect.
And you accept that as a legitimate concept?
Well, yeah, I can accept it as what you call it now, because we're not talking about nothing but using somebody as a mummy, as a dummy, to get some work done. Okay. Even everybody talk about, even Ivan Van Sertima said, whenever the white boy think that everything can only be done one way, there's something that will happen, a rock, a spoke, or something from another aspect that will break through. Now, what I did get based on a lot of transmissions was, and they talked about this. One of the students of Alice Crawley called Kenneth Grant, who did the introduction to that book, talked about C.W. Ledbetter as when Crawley had tapped into AWAS. He said C.W. Ledbetter had been a slave of AWAS his whole life. This entity literally used him as a workhorse and a slave his whole life. So I know that you can have transmissions, and they can use Europeans in their aspect because their body's so dense that they can really use them like puppets. Now give me
like
Blavatsky and all that. Let me show you. Give me an example, like H.P. Lovecraft. Now H.P. Lovecraft gives you the whole Cthulhu mythos, and H.P. Lovecraft was a racist. H.P. Lovecraft went to Florida and damn near got sick because he fell off in a place where they had mostly black people and Jews. But yet, he did this whole thing on the Necronomicon, and these great old ones is going to take the earth. And the chief, there's only one human in the whole Cthulhu mythos. The rest of them is extra cosmic beings or whatever. Only one member that has direct link to Cthulhu in him, and that's Hotep the black man. So, and the guy who did the study right there at Wayne State University is one that did one of the studies that talked about the racist aspect. But he said, but on one hand, how can this man is a racist, but his chief hero, he even thought that the damn New England white and the British were the most intelligent people on the planet. But he said that the New England, this man here, but his hero that he chose that has most of the power over the commands, and the only contact from these beings from the outside was nearly Hotep, the black man. So that meant, and so he was having these transmissions, and he wrote all that stuff based on the transmissions, and they just used him as a slave. As a result, Ledbetter was a slave that he wrote a lot of his books and stuff like that. Right. And Kenneth Grant had said that he was a slave of AWAS.
He was, yeah.
Now, H.P. Lovecraft, who wrote all this Cthulhu mythos, was getting all these transmissions, and he was writing all these volumes about these great old ones coming back. And then he decided that I'm not going to do it no more. I'm tired of it. And as soon as he stopped writing, he came down with brain cancer because the transmission was still coming in, and he was not filtering it. And he came down with brain cancer and died. Now, transmissions come to us as a regular evolutionary process. But with them, even when they get the internal combustion, you see what I'm saying? Is they got a certain amount of energy in their bodies, but they have to filter it a certain way. So a lot of these Europeans are used as slaves. So the spirit realm is so powerful to even them. They can use them. Now, so what happened was the Settman had power to do this. Let's say, well, why didn't they use somebody black? Well, number one, he wrote that book there in the 80s. Niggas wasn't into nothing. So sometimes they got to use white people. It's the same thing they said about all this metaphysical stuff. They said, and black people get all mad, you know, we ain't wrote none of that shit. Motherfucker, you was in the goddamn Jesus. So So when these people tapped into all this stuff, especially in the 1800s, late 1800s and 1900s and stuff, you was on some old field in Alabama with some goddamn cloud pants and a corn pipe. Know what I'm saying? You was fucking damn Louis Armstrong. Now he's a good trumpet player, but that motherfucker ain't nothing when it comes to intellect.
Well, why did they go to Egypt to get their teaching? I mean,
No. You don't understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about certain time cycles here. We're talking about how these books that you got right here come to you. I'm not talking about the past.
right.
I'm not talking about...
But Blavatsky went to Egypt to get her training.
Yes,
and so it led better, and then after something.
Yes, they did, but also, too, they got the initial training that she did get, but Blavatsky died in 1888.
Right.
Ledbetter and them furthered the work.
Right.
And so she opened it up.
Theosophy Society.
The Theosophy Society, Ledbetter, Annie Besant,
Right.
even G.R.S. Meade, Robert Flood, Lieutenant Colonel A.E. Powell, and these particular ones, and they kept on, and they start, even Rudolph Steiner was a theosophist and stuff like that. So they furthered the work and stuff, but what happened is the current, it's a current. And the current just used them as a slave. If they didn't do it, we wouldn't get this shit. Because black people couldn't do it, but the stuff had to come back to us. So they used them as custodians. They used them as custodians and stuff like this and all. So I'm trying to say this type of thing here. Look, I don't know how this shit works because the simple fact I had to go through that type of stuff. But I don't let it cloud my judgment. I don't let it cloud. When we say, you know what about the white people and all this kind of thing, fuck niggas ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't doing a goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? So let's not be funny with this shit here. We're not doing the doggone work. You see what I'm saying? In the spirit realm, know that. Otherwise, goddamn, look, a motherfucking nigga from Mother, South Carolina with a southern accent in the middle of down Detroit teaching somebody some shit. You know what I'm saying? South Carolina, what? James Brown came out of that Barnwell, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Was he gonna do it? So I'm trying to say is, I mean, he can dance real good and all, but I'm trying to say the spirit realm has a whole nother realm on how they do things. But what I'm talking about as far as certain white people, we were not in the position. This stuff didn't come by, this new age stuff that was preserved up to now, didn't come through black people. Now we got Pastor Beverly Randolph, hell, he died, you see what I'm saying, at a certain time. They used these white people as slaves to do this particular, so this current is just like a puppet game, a chess game. Get the movie Clash of the Titans, Jason and the Argonauts, and you got people taking things and putting people here and putting people here and affecting people's lives from another dimension. So basically what they do here is they use them as certain slaves. But my point is this type of shit here. See, what I'm trying to say this type of shit. Right now, the only damn book that I'm trying to say this type of thing. And let me show you what I'm talking about. The point blank, to cut through the bullshit. The only goddamn book you got that's authentic at this particular time that is written in a detailed shit on segment, you got it in your fucking hand. Do I rest my motherfucking case? What the fuck the goddamn bullshit ass niggas is doing? And if we gonna wait on the motherfucking nigga to do the damn shit, it's gonna take 1 billion years. So that right there proves my point. He said he was taken over by the God in segment. I believe him because that's the only goddamn book. See what I'm saying? How shit go? You see? And we look at the white man and all this kind of shit. I'm trying to say, the other stuff came later with us. This book here is early 80s. You see what I'm saying? To this day, there's only one book that even attempts to deal with that. So we say all the stuff about white people and all. My point here is, if it's supposed to be somebody else, why it only one book? So he says that this shit took him over. Right. He stayed to the statue, and the statue zapped his ass. Now you mean to tell me that these gods are powerful, and we say these gods are all powerful, and they don't have the power to take over a motherfucking white man? It's contradiction. I think about them, I ain't gonna even worship your ass if you ain't got enough damn energy to take over the cracker.
Take questions from her over there.
Yeah. You see, what's that? Go ahead.
I wanted to add, is it plausible that possibly that he could be working on some type of karmic debt or whatever for his ancestors.
No, hell no. Hell no. Them motherfuckers gonna burn in hell. Ain't no karmic debt. If it was karmic debt, man, shoot. Wouldn't be no white race right now.
Right.
You see, that old karma is some bullshit.
Yes.
That's what the girl said in that book of Clarity. That's a joke from the gods. Because if we say karma, there shouldn't be no white race right now. The white race, this white race is outdone any mythical devil they ever had. The mythical devil was a motherfucking country boy out there, this cracker.
The concept of reincarnation, if there's no karma.
Huh?
Reincarnation.
Reincarnation is a fucking trap. Reincarnation is a trap by the gods. Reincarnation is a trap by the gods. It's a trap by the gods to keep motherfuckers going into the damn ritual. Oh, Flaherty deals with it. Because I said, man, this shit, some shit just don't make no goddamn sense. If I gotta work off some karma, why the hell I'm gonna incarnate back into Alabama when I don't know shit? And still ain't got a way to damn get out of this shit. It's a trick from the gods. Because the whole karma shit, it don't hold no water based on the unfairness of the earth.
That's right.
You can't get no knowledge.
That's right.
And but by the grace of God go I. We might fuck around here and bounce around here another million years because we can't even find shit. You think a nigga in sub-Saharan Africa is privy to some knowledge right now? All them flies and bugs and shit.
Reason it out.
It's some bullshit.
Reason it out.
You see, it's some bullshit. You know what that shit is?
Well, what happens to the body when you die?
This is what happened to the body. Hold on, it's a good question going on. Now, what you don't realize is this. It's just like anything else. Most of the stuff we're getting from karma, we're getting from India. But you have to study the entire history of India. Most motherfuckers come into India with bullshit Buddhism, and Buddhism is fundamentalism. Buddhism is the Christianity of India.
Right.
India was a goddamn billion years old fucking Buddha. And they got thousands of years of Vedic texts. Go back to Ethiopia, but yet we gonna goddamn do something. It's the same as Christianity. Karma and sin is the same damn thing. Both of them are unfair. You see what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. How can a motherfucker from the damn ghetto walking around this motherfucker don't know his ass from the ground be accountable with some karma? It don't make no sense.
That's right.
My point is, I can see if you gave him all the fucking tools.
That's right.
And say now, goddamn it, you got the tools, there's no excuse. But the motherfucker don't have nothing.
That's it.
It's a cosmic joke. You see what I'm saying? But we're reading, if you read most of the India stuff, we're sectarians. We only study one aspect. And that's good enough for me. As long as it ain't Christianity, I mean, it's something good. I feel good about myself. We only study one aspect. We don't study the whole thing. So we study the Buddhism, and they tend to deal more on the karma. The karma was a time in India when most of the ancient, there's a piece of paper on the floor down there that came out of the book. That the karma deals with most of the information that was in the Vedic system that explained things, and as time went on, as far as the cycle went on, they lost a lot of the ancient information. What they didn't know, they applied to karma. Same thing they did with sin. A lot of shit they didn't have answers for, they applied to karma, or it's just karma. But if you trace it back to the original Rig Veda, they hardly ever deal with karma. They hardly ever deal with human life, period. Because human life is a damn matrix. They deal with mostly the war between the gods and the goddesses. You see what I'm saying? So clearly you can see that one is, you see through the aspect of the Hinduism, one, it gradually goes down to a fundamentalistic movement, which is moral teachings for humans. It might have a much more greater metaphysical flair to it than Christianity, because most of that's lost, but still yet, it is a fundamentalism compared to the original system. You see what I'm saying? Compared to the original system. The word karma comes from the word ha, ma, heru, ma, ku, harma, Armageddon. Karma was an end time event. more than this some shit. You walking around here talking about all this karma on me. You know, people right, I be like, you shouldn't steal that, you gotta get karma. I'm like, wait, hold on, let me see, this don't make no goddamn sense. I do believe that the motherfucking cracker is using the raw materials from my black ass to make some shit to sell me back the shit that he made. See, the karma shit don't hold up, because in that case, white people have got the shit stuck to their ass a long time ago.
Well, what happens to death? Where does the soul go?
It's simple. Okay, let's deal with that. This is some good stuff. This is how some stuff really moves. Now let's deal with that. It ain't got nothing to do with it's a cosmic game. Two things. Death is you go up to the light.
Right.
You bounce around for a couple of years and they send your ass back down here. Now if you got enough knowledge, you go to the darkness and hang around in the Elysian fields until it's time for you to get the hell up off the planet at the end times. But you gotta have a certain amount of knowledge to do that. But that person who went to that doggone light don't necessarily mean that the motherfucker did anything wrong. The light is the astral light, which is the demiurge. You gotta get into the Gnosticism. See, Gnosticism, it has a Christian overtone to it. And because we're trained on Christianity, we think that it's that same old Christian bullshit. We don't understand. This Gnosticism is the translated hieroglyphics into Coptic. And I don't care if the Romans stole the concept that they call in Christianity is fundamentally Egyptians. Even Jung said that. This Gnosticism is fundamentally, it's whatever it is, it's not Christianity. So the Gnostics say that there ain't no such thing. They say there's a bunch of motherfucking gods up there that's playing a trick on us. Now, O'Flaherty that has done work in all of these Vedic texts from Buddhists and all that, she comes from the same conclusion, but you can't get it in a movement. That's the problem with Buddhism. It is a religion. Because there's an esoteric form of Buddhism, but the mass of the people, anything a goddamn Asian worship, come on man, these motherfuckers eat bugs. If it move in Asia, they eat it. When a billion people gonna get the most divine concept, that's bullshit. That's a religion. So the whole karma thing is bullshit. And that's what O'Flaherty proved in the book. Where's that book?
The other one that you had yesterday.
Proved in the book, the origins of evil in Hindu mythology.
Right.
The fucking evil is the goddamn gods that claim that they divine. And she said the first thing they do is they dupe you by telling the gods fool the human by telling them this karma bullshit. Because they know that the humans contain the seed that's going to take them over. So it's a bunch of lies. Because it don't hold no water. It don't hold no water.
Now, in Kemetic, they had spells for not dying a second time.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't want to come back here.
Yeah.
You know.
But see, first of all, we're talking about a society. When we look at the Kemetic thing, we're talking about a society before it fell, and it was a society that contained a great deal of knowledge and information. So they didn't have to go down that road where the ignorant stuff plays in.
Right.
Where you got that more religious overtone. And as societies get more and more, even doggone your boy, who was it? Even Rudolf Steiner even said that religions develop when ample amount of knowledge or gnosis or knowing deteriorates.
Okay.
So when a certain amount of knowledge deteriorates and they can't understand the reason why, you understand what I'm saying? They just say, oh, it's just sin, and you need not fuck with that. And especially the Buddhists say you don't need to fuck with the Vedic. Now wait a minute, the Brahmins. Wait a minute, you don't tell me that I don't need to look into the origin? You see, that's the fundamental aspect of religion. Say, never deal with that prior to this new religion saying that this is the way it is. And the Muslims go with that. Well, you know, Allah was the last prophet of God. So we shouldn't deal with deal with nothing but the Quran. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, but the Muhammad. So my point here, and so I asked one woman, I said, well, what about all that damn hieroglyphics and metadata in Kemet? And all that learning. What about all that? You saying that just to bow down to God 7 days a day is the most sufficient way. He said, well, all of that stuff was a trial thing. It was like they was trying to get shit to come to a certain way. And then when Islam came, that was completion of it. I said, so these motherfuckers can walk through walls and shit in Kemetic, but yet we get a goddamn Arab that wipes his ass with his left hand or whatever. A savage motherfucker that say it is more sacred to enter a man than a woman. A white ass Arabs. You see what I'm saying? One of the worst squalor on the planet is a fucking white Arab. It's just they don't even need to be living. Fuck that old Muslim shit. Them motherfuckers ain't shit. They don't even need to be living. The way they do a damn woman. You know what I'm saying? And the way they did us in doggone Africa. And the hatred. Hell, they said the Arab slave trade made the damn white slave trade, the European slave trade, look like a doggone picnic. You see, it's going on to this day. So I'm just saying, but I'm trying to say here is, going back, this whole karma thing, the concept where you're getting it all, you're getting it from Buddhism. Because you can't find it in the Vedic text. So you have to study all of it. I don't take nothing for granted. I take no stones unturned. I don't believe in nothing. That way I can keep on going.
You're beginning.
You have to, there's no end in this stuff. If I wake up tomorrow and I got a light bill, fuck it. There's some work to be done. There's something I ain't getting. And the other shit ain't going to be sufficient. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to be happy with that. So you got to keep on, but we're talking millions of years. So you can't take one section and say, this is the ultimate truth. So the whole karma shit and all, if you go by them damn niggas in Tibet, they can't step on a roach. I can't step on a snail. I said, that's contradiction. This is a motherfucking, you saying in the same book that this is an illusion. That's a goddamn contradiction. Now, one minute you telling me Maya, illusion. This is an illusion. It doesn't exist. And the ultimate Buddha and Brahma realize this doesn't exist. Now you telling me that if I step on a roach in the illusion, that I'm fucked up. You can't have it. What? If this was a goddamn illusion that don't exist, and I step on a roach in the illusion, I'm supposed to get kicked up the ass because I stepped on nothing? You know what I'm saying? Like motherfucker buying you a damn lottery ticket for damn your birthday. Here, motherfucker, here's a piece of paper. Here's nothing. Because you got a better chance of lightning hit your ass than the shit hit. Here's a lottery ticket, nothing. Oh, you all right with me, man. I got nothing. So I'm just saying, the whole, even see, because they're the ones that bring you the whole shit about the illusion and the Maya. If this is a matrix that don't exist, then how can karma be? The only thing you know that accumulates karma in your thing is something you do physically.
Right. Some negative behavior.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a contradiction. You can't tell me that Maya, illusion, the world of appearances, this is an illusion, this is a matrix, this is what you call it. It doesn't exist. But yet, if you do something up in that non-existence, your soul gonna be fucked up. That means somebody playing a trick on you. You see, so even that alone is a contradiction in turn. I gotta neutralize the ego so I can get through the matrix that don't exist, so I can see pure light and pure consciousness and all this shit here. But yet, you mean to tell me that the shit that I'm trying to get away from is valid enough? That's valid that I get punished for fucking up that shit that I'm trying to get away from? It don't make no sense. It don't hold no water. You see, but that's, here it is again. They take it something face value because people don't study the origin of things. You see what I'm saying? They don't study the origin of things. The Buddhism that goes into that stuff is a religion, and that's a late conception. You see what I'm saying? It's no different than Muhammad. It has splinters of divine energy, divine knowledge, and it has a whole meditation system and all of that type of thing. In that case, if it's coming, well, I gotta meditate. I thought meditation was to break down this bullshit. Now, if this is reality, I need to be dealing with this shit here. You see, it don't hold no water. You see, so that's a reform something to keep people pacified because the masses was getting into it. And the masses were getting into it, and they couldn't understand the high levels, and that's what the Buddhism say. They said that the Brahmins and the Vedics had all these complicated things that the masses of the people couldn't understand. The masses of the people don't supposed to understand nothing. You don't never supposed to follow nothing that the masses follow. Yes, if, you know, you wouldn't want no everyday nigga off the street operating on you, taking off your nuts. You know what I'm saying? If you had some kind of testicular cancer, you would want the best. You wouldn't want no nigga around no liquor store fucking around down here with your scrolls. Right? So how the hell I'm gonna trust what the damn people want to get? I want the Vedic people that know the real mysteries.
And that's the root.
That's the root. That's the root, not the shit that everybody got, even the fucking Asians eating rats and cats and bats.
The bigger let's eat that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, when it gets to a mass movement, they got just as much, they got Buddhists, Muslims, and Christians. Anything that has a mass movement, shit you don't want. Anything that half the people in the world can obtain. You know what I'm saying? Can't be good enough for me because half the people in the world is fucked up, don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Because the white man can rule them, and they want to be white. Goddamn East Indian talking about some Buddhist shit, but yeah, he want to be the white man and look down on you like you're goddamn nothing. So I want to know something that somebody else don't know. Some elite stuff. I don't want to know something that everybody can get, because that's shit. You know what I'm saying? So what it is we don't study the history of these things, so we just think that in actuality, we just take it face value. We don't know that they went through a deterioration period in India, just like they did in Africa and every place else. And you got to go all the way back to the origin. And when you go to the origin, they all start coming together and start sounding the same. The mythology talk about the same thing. A group of gods took over their parents and turned their parents into humans. And the humans is now worshiping their children. You see what I'm saying? And the children is telling them that they're the damn supreme God so that they won't rise up. They ain't nothing but our children. That's the mystery in India, Greece, Rome, Egypt, Samaria, all. But you got to take it back to the least common denominator. You can't just stop in one segment. I don't give a damn how beautiful these hieroglyphics look. If I don't know the ultimate reality, you understand what I'm saying? That ain't good enough. You see what I'm saying? So now we got sectarian, we got people that don't want to deal with Egypt. You understand what I'm saying? But yet Egypt is in fragment. It was goddamn invaded for a fucking damn 1,000 years. And we say, well, everything came out of Egypt. Well, why can't the shit that came out of Egypt be valid? That's a contradiction. If everything came out of Kemet, why can't I go here and say that even this stuff in India could be a part of Kemet? You see what I'm saying? So we still get into, because we are mostly interested in throwing off Christianity. So we have to find a model, and we can't say that I'm into several different things. We got to find something we think is superior, because we can look at the goddamn pyramids and say, hey, that's got to be superior. You see what I'm saying? And yes, it was, but you ain't going to bit more know something stuck in one system and you going to do anything. You got to put all this shit together. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Now we got different sections. We got people that only want to deal with this and only want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I deal with anything that's going to produce results. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's going to produce results. You know,
what about the Kabbalah? Is it a legitimate?
Yes. Yes. The Kabbalah, very legitimate. Comes from the temple of Komombo in Egypt. You see. Comes from the temple of Komombo. They got the Pharaoh holding up the Kabbalah in Kemet. It's a very legitimate system, the Sephiroth. You see what I'm saying? It has its flaws, just like anything else has its flaws. But it's a very legitimate system. You see what I'm saying? Just like anything else, you see. But you have to put all this stuff together. What don't work in another system, you got to go find the apparatus in this system that brings the cohesiveness together. And you put the pieces together through multiple systems to make a wholeness. You see what I'm saying? You just don't wait around and say, it's got some Swiss cheese and shit, I just hope I don't fall through the holes. Plug them up with all the other stuff that makes it a whole. So that's why I deal with all of it. Kemet, there's 70 damn systems. And I'm not saying that you got to be that type of person that has to deal in that research type of mode, but you do need to understand that you cannot just separate yourself from only one mode of existence. And that way, when things come your way, you can say, oh, I can believe that. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I can understand this and stuff, because I understand that a lot of this shit travels several ways. They have 80,000 students in Karnak alone. They didn't stay in Kemetic. 80,000 students at one time didn't stay in Egypt. They went all over the world. And they took things with them. All in Asia. All, you know what I'm saying? All over the world. But you going to take 80,000 people and just let them, after they get through it, just walking around and shit. Hey, I'm a priest. It's got our priesthood. That's some shit we do. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for a job. You know? What's that?
Do you know anything about R.A. Schwaller?
Yeah, R.A. Schwaller the Lubitz.
Yeah.
In actuality, they had tapped in, even in his book, Sacred Science. He discovered that they showed the pharaohs riding this chariot. You always see the pharaohs riding the horse in the chariot. Everybody was thinking that it was a war scene, the Battle of Kadesh was a war scene that actually happened in Kemetic. He said, no, that's a war scene that's happening on a mystical level, because they showed a hole opening up on the Battle of Kadesh, and they got these people in a castle saying, hey, come on, you completed it. So it was like another dimension. He showed these types of things, and he showed all this stuff, mystical stuff. Meanwhile, there's a guy in France. Now, this guy in France was one of his greatest adversaries. It's like the same thing, you know. Whatever you do, the government gonna pull out some of. They got it going on right now. Graham Hancock and them are saying that this stuff, the three pyramids line up with Sirius and Orion. So now the government and the Illuminati they got Hawass. He's the guy that sets over the whole pyramid complex. You gotta goddamn bow down to him just to get up in the pyramids. And he said, oh no, that's some bullshit. It wasn't nothing but a funerary thing that the people built for their pharaoh.
That's right.
And here's a nigga that's done been there for over 30-something years working at the pyramids. He don't believe that bullshit. So they always got a person making it conservative saying, oh, you don't believe in all that old crazy shit. So, same thing happened. Schwaller the Lubitz was saying all this stuff is mystical and it's more esoteric. But they had the mainstream Egyptologists saying, no, it was just some people that built all this stuff for their pharaoh, and they worked in the fields, and they believed in superstition. When they die, they go to Amun-Ra, and but they didn't. But it wasn't no real mystical, magical stuff. So he had this guy in France that was opposing him, saying that he was doing some crazy shit. And then the government guy in France that was opposing him, fucked around and got in a car wreck and got his ass killed. And so Schwaller the Lubitz shit was able to go on into the future until he died in 1961. You know, with Temple of Man and Sacred Science and all these other particular books and stuff like that. Yeah, all those other particular books. But even he said himself on his deathbed, I spent 40 years illuminating people and didn't illuminate myself. On his deathbed. You see, Jung saw a black man standing over him when he was about to die. And he realized this was the guy that was leading him. Case in point again.
Right.
He saw this guy standing over him and said this guy was leading him. It's in Marie-Louise von Franz's book on Death and Dreams. Good book to get. On Death and Dreams, Marie-Louise von Franz. But you're going to have to take your time with it because she's from Germany. So you know what that means. Hush. These Germans, boy, ooh, they really doggone technical.
What's her name again?
Marie-Louise von Franz. Marie-Louise von Franz got a book called On Death and Dreams. And it's got a lot of stuff on the Osirian mysteries, Anubis, it's a lot of stuff in there, and the archetype of the collective unconsciousness. Now she got another book called, that she did called, it's another one, Apuleius, the Golden Ass. Apuleius is the guy that wrote a book called The Golden Ass. And the story goes, this guy gets turned into a donkey. And he has to go through some things so he can get back to a human. And in order for him to get back to a human, he has to enter into the mysteries of Isis. And the feminine energy has to come in and transform him for him to get back out of the donkey. Why? Because his masculine left brain is the shit that turned him into the donkey. So in so many words, it's a story based on that left brain mentality of males that got him all bound down and all fucked up. And he has to surrender, and once he goes into the mystery of Isis, or Aset, he's transformed. She wrote a book called The Golden Ass by Marie-Louise von Franz, but also Robert Graves wrote one. And hers is probably out of print, but you want to get Robert Graves' book on the Golden Ass and read the story, because he has to enter into the mysteries of Isis or Aset to go to another level. Go to another level. You want to take a break and then we come back and drop some more, or what you want to do? Yeah. Okay. So now look, we got the catalogs going. You want to do that, or what you want to do?
Yeah, we take a break now.
Yeah. We got the catalogs going. We got the tapes.
Slow down, please. Slow down, please.
Slow down.
Let them finish. Yeah, everybody making a mad
We got the tape, we got the catalog, we got the food. Like I said, we got the catalogs. It's got all the text in it and stuff, different things to read. I have some of my tapes over there, you know. Pastors of Atlantis, the Immigrant Humans, and a couple of other things also. So you want to go there and we're going to resume in a few minutes, and we're going to get funky because we got a lot to go. We just started. Which one? Lecture. This starts the lecture. The other part was this the warm up. So this just starts the lecture. You ready?
Yeah.
You know, go through a little bit of hard copy also, some other stuff that's happening on the mundane realm. The government is complaining that older blacks are not getting enough of the flu shot. We know that the flu shot they really hit it hard in Atlanta with the CDC 2 years ago, '99. And everybody who got the flu shot came down with the flu. And then they came out with a flu serum. So that's how they sell stuff. So apparently last year they ran out of the flu shot, so they didn't sell the flu serum. You see, or either they ran out of the serum, couldn't make no money, so they didn't give people the flu shot to give them the flu. I think it went like that. So this year they're gearing up. They say that they want older blacks to get the flu shot because they're not coming down because they're not getting the flu shot now. But my point is, last year nobody got the damn flu shot. So how you gonna register some stuff, you know? But here it is again. They telling black people what they need to do health wise, and they all concerned. You know what I'm saying? All concerned, you know. So another thing on the mundane level is the George Bush is talking about this school testing. And this is very key because they already know that we don't do good on tests because the tests are biased. You see. So they got some testing that's going to be so much off the hook until ain't no black people getting out of high school in the damn future. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no blacks getting out of high school in the future and all. Yeah, just how many take?
Probably 2 for you.
2? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. You know, so ain't no blacks getting out of high school in the future. Now, why is this? Because see, they got to. Number one, they got to level the playing field because they said that too many black people are graduating high school and graduating college. So at the turn of the century, only the elite was able to go on to college or whatever, and half the country didn't graduate high school. So they said it's too easy. This was another way to make them the elite. They figured that hell, half the country gonna be non-white anyway. You know what I'm saying? So they got all this school testing and stuff, but it's biased. Now to let you know this thing is biased, we've been talking about this thing since the late 60s and early 70s that the school testing was biased. We don't do good on tests because the test is written for the crackers and by the crackers and for the crackers. So we've been saying this thing here since We've been saying this thing since the early 70s now. But lo and behold, one show came out that proved that we was right. The show called How to Be a Millionaire. And the white people started using it on white people to make sure to knock them out of the doggone running to get the $1 million. So what they understood was they got all these white people claim they know everything. They get up there and they work all the way up with them white questions to get the money. And as soon as they get up there, the first thing they do is they throw that black question in on their ass. This is a smart ass white man or white woman. And plunk that shit. Topple their ass right on out of there. It works every time.
That's funny.
You see what I'm saying? They knew them crackers, they knew it's bias. That's the first thing they do. I said, here it comes. I said, this cracker here winning a little too much money right here. I said, here it comes. They're going to throw that black question in. He think he know everything. And it'll be some real simple shit that everybody knows. They be flunking it. I mean, it'd be really, really dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? That everybody's supposed to know that it's lived inside of America. But no, not Mr. Smart White Man. He flunks it every time. So this is proven. If he can flunk something easy, then they can take the same method that what they've been doing with us and been throwing us out, you know, and knocking us out of the box based on this school testing. So now Bush is getting ready to do this whole thing again based on the school testing. To try to knock the quote-unquote undesirables out of the playing field. It's the same thing in the movie Harrison Bergeron. They level the playing field by keeping everybody dumb, but in this case, the playing field is these doggone tests. So they're telling you that the teachers can't teach. And they're getting all this test stuff and then they're making it hard on everybody. You see what I'm saying? It's very key. Now, this is another thing, too, because the whole prostate thing that they say, the so-called all the men coming down with it, and they're saying now it's real heavy in the black community. It's interesting here because I knew something was going on because all that stuff is government-induced, medically induced. Here's the book, Hilton Hotima's book called The Sons of Perfection, volume, I think it's like 3 volumes of the Sons of Perfection by Hilton Hotima. Hilton Hotima did a lot of work on the pineal gland and a lot of work in the late 50s, early 60s and stuff, working for health research, and wrote a lot of books. One of the books was The Secrets of Regeneration, which give you a whole lot of mysteries on the woman. And Dr. Delbert Blair used a lot of his stuff, the woman lecture and the man lecture, Secrets of Regeneration. But in this book, he goes in to say that the prostate gland is directly related to the pineal gland. Then we start seeing all this prostate trouble and stuff. And we know that there's something definitely going on where that means that the government or whatever, the medical profession is producing or inducing this prostate problem in men to somehow stop the pineal energy or something that's going on that way. You see what I'm saying? And so, believe it or not, the person that wrote more on the pineal gland other than the new scholars, the black scholars, starting with Richard King and all, was Hilton Hotima. So this, any of his books is full of all the stuff on the pineal gland, any stuff with Hilton Hotima and all, right? But the prostate gland is directly related to the doggone pineal gland, you see. And so this is just, here it is again, we always got this stuff coming down. Nothing happens in a vacuum. When we just start coming down with stuff, it's like that diabetes thing. Everybody coming down with damn diabetes now and stuff. Like you saying, it could very well be the water. You see what I'm saying? Or they just giving them diabetes because now they're coming out with, it's designer disease. Because they got designer drugs. So they'll induce a certain amount of disease in a certain population so that they can sell, you see, a certain amount of the drugs and stuff like that, you see. And all, you know, so this is interesting here. Even Prozac, which is the greatest wonder in the world for white people and stuff, because the white people, basically what was happening was white people was going crazy off the production of, they started having too much production of serotonin. Now, too much might be very little in us, but what little bit of serotonin that their melanin does produce was too much and they go crazy. What the Prozac does is blocks the production of the serotonin so that they don't go crazy. So here it is again what Richard King was saying, that any form of that melanin and stuff, they go crazy in 48 hours. And so they found out why these doggone white people were psychologically imbalanced. It's because too much serotonin. You see what I'm saying? Which in actuality is showing you that they are hybrid species in the first place. For the simple doggone fact that serotonin is produced, you see what I'm saying, naturally. And here it is, they can't take something produced. That's like they can't be taking blood. You see what I'm saying? So so the whole Prozac thing, you see, helped them phenomenally. You see. I want to get into one other thing right now, still clearing up some stuff. I did a tape called History of the KKK a couple of years ago and all, and I wanted to get into a couple other things right now based on why your police system has always been against you. So brothers come up to me and say, hey man, I'm a police, but I'm cool. I'm gonna fuck that, man, quit. Look at me like I was crazy. I say, no, quit. But see, we're trained as black people. You never tell another black person to quit no job, because that's a slave mentality. We are workers. So although they can bust you over the head, that's a good job with benefits and stuff. But if it's a good job, why the fuck they got a moonlight around Burger King and Hardee's and all kind of shit, standing up at night after they done pulled a full shift, all up in 7-Eleven and all that kind of. It's a sucker's game. So be like, okay, but we wouldn't dare tell another black person to quit the police force, because that's training. Because they train you in a damn military and a police society that policing is noble. That's why you don't have no movie star that ever graced the golden screen for a certain period of time, black or white, they don't play a police officer. All of them sooner or later.
Okay.
That's initiation. If you like a person and you admire a person, it is imperative